This is 2014 BMW F10 335D, and we're going to be doing the software update or integration level via the ISTA Plus. This process is really safe and simple, although it requires a bunch of steps in preparation. This video is pretty detailed in the way of update, but it will not include full breakdown on the steps, and you will need a bit knowledge and understanding in that regard. In the future, I will make a separate video on components and software installation, so subscribe and ring the bell for the future content. Let's dig in.
And just like that, we done with initial setup. I'll run you through in a second. But today we're going to be doing a firmware update or the eye-level update, which is requires some of the setup. And like I said, we'll get to that in a second. This is 2014 BMW F10, and today we're going to be specifically using an ISTA D, which is diagnosing, but it's kind of ISTA Plus, which is extended version, and it's capable on software update. Highly recommending it if you're doing this job first time. Same as me, I'm going to be doing that today. That's going to be the first time for me. The other consideration is ISTA P, although ISTA P wouldn't work on this particular car because it's 2014. I think it's 2011 and up that the manufacturer switched specifically to or ISTA Plus. Then you have the other option for ECs, which is not quite easy to set up, or yes, easy to set up, but not easy to use. And safety is going to be under consideration because you can easily break your car through the ECs. ISTA is the safest option, the fastest option. Sometimes ECs would take up to an hour or maybe even 2 hours to do the head unit, whereas ISTA Plus will do it like in 2 hours. It's gonna update every single module in the car, which is kind of cool, right? Also, this job requires ICOM. It's actually BMW specific tool to connect it to the car, the OBD. Then we have our laptop, Windows laptop with installed ISTA Plus. And I don't have the latest database, but I have 2022, I think. We'll be able to see the eye level, the original and the one that we're going to be installing. In the trunk, I have multimeter setup, which is showing a current voltage on the battery. It's just strictly for me, and I just wanted to be sure what the voltage is in the rail. Then we have our ICOM, which is unit came from eBay. And this one, I think it cost me like 140 or 150 bucks. A lot of people does not recommend to do that job with the cheap units because a lot of times they will be faulty. So if you're buying it from the eBay, make sure to test it right away and make sure it does work, like connects to the car, connects to the laptop, works as it intended. As for the duct tape, it's just simply like that I accidentally not gonna pull the wire or something like that. So specifically for that job, we wanted to have a fixed output on the power supply. And there is not a lot of those on the market. I got one with the capable of delivering 100 amps, and they have quite a few options in there. 40 amps, I think, and 70 amps. 70 amps gonna cost you 140 bucks. This one cost me 180 bucks, which is, I guess, in consideration, BMW suggests you, or they highly recommend you to use a 100 amp power supply. And we specifically wanted to have it on the fixed output because it's going to be delivering the power continuously no matter what is the voltage on the battery, or the battery is charged or discharged. So that's kind of the main point. You really don't want to use a charger or trickle charger and connect it to your terminals under the hood and basically charging the battery. And if it charged, it basically going to cut off and you gonna get yourself strained right on that spot. And there is multiple options why you don't want to use a trickle charger. Again, if you guys would really wanted to have me go through the initial setup and what kind of tools and stuff like that you need and deep dive, just leave me a comment below and we'll go through that process again. But this one just a brief preview on what you need to start with just the software update. For that job, we're gonna need to power the car. I also left the key in the car. Let's start with ISTA. First is the version and the programming data. So at this point, you should have everything installed, and this is definitely not going to be an explanation on how to install the ISTA. If you want to have a separate video, leave me a comment in the description below, because I definitely can make the video about that. After you got your ISTA open, you press the operation, you press the new operation, and you press the readout vehicle data. And very at the bottom in the corner, you can press complete identification. It should find the cable soon, the ICOM cable. And yes, we have it. Sometimes you're gonna need to use the iTool radar to figure out if you're doing it the first time, the tool is gonna be for to get in that cable connected. Now it will start identifying everything. I just wanted to see what we have in the memory. Pressure buildup too slow. Delivery module system pressure, delivery module system pressure, and metering pressure too low. Anyway, I'm not gonna be deleting any messages. We're gonna go straight to software update and we'll see what is going on and with the calculation and how many modules do we have. We did see. So we'll let it run through. Also, you can see our current eye level, our integration, BMW F10, 2014-03-502. This is the number for, or this is the software version. And this is the new one, 2022-11-510. It can be a lot newer, but yeah. So the update duration available after starting the measurement plan execution. So all of these are the modules that we're gonna need to update. ISTA unfortunately doesn't give us any option in terms of selecting any of these. And let's display a measurement plan. Again, the version, the current version and the targeted version is this one. So as you can see, we have quite a few programming, encoding, and initial setup. So final report, nothing yet done. Let's go back to the measurement plan, and again, we cannot select or check any of the boxes and stuff like that. So let's execute measurement plan. Okay. All the data carried, CD, DVD, iPod, must be mandatory removed. If not followed, this result in programming aboard as the data carried is deleted. Remove the connected data carriers and continue with continue. So the software telling us to disconnect every single device that is connected to the car. Remove all of the CDs, if any. There is none. Or make sure our phone is disconnected. Choose devices. Remove device, and we are empty here, so we want to make sure there is nothing on the seats, and apparently the car bears stock without any artificial device on it. And we hit continue. So now we have our list. So ISTA is incredibly picky in terms of selecting all of the putting all of the check marks. I mean, not necessarily you need to put them on the screen, but you need to follow the guide and make sure the car is like exactly what it say on the screen. So read carefully, go through every single step and make sure that is everything as it say, it's checked. Because if a single component not gonna be as it say it should, it will abort, fail, or it will not update. Or it's like you're gonna go through half or until the end, and then it will say, hey, the update did fail. And you just spend more than an hour or 1 hour of your time just staring at the screen, and apparently, yeah. And the last step is to close the driver door, that's what we're going to do. Also, be extremely careful to not put in your hand inside of the window jamb since it's open, because it will crash your hand and will not stop. So we press continue, the car will start doing the software will start doing the process. So, and it's showing us at the top is remaining time is 1 hour and 25 minutes. Yeah, the car will be doing all kind of things that kind of gonna be weird. Parking lamp multifunction. All doors and side windows as well as the convertible top of convertible need to be closed. Then the side window will be open and closed. The overheating protection of the power windows must also not be activated. Pressing OK. Only carry out seat standardization, a trouble-free system. Ensure that the vehicle voltage is higher than 0.5. It is. The seats must not be occupied as it will move to both end position. The adjustment travel path must be free of obstructions. Do not operate the switch before and after seat adjustment during the standardization. At this particular moment, we wanted to make sure that we don't have anything on the way, and specifically the cabling. So now we simply press yes and see how the seats start moving. The front passenger seat is standard in the following step. So this is exactly the same procedure. Pressing yes. And then the passenger seat will start moving. Again, guys, make sure you do not interfere with any of these, with any of the components that are moving, specifically the windows, because if it's gonna trap your finger or anything, it will just continue moving to the top. It just break it, it's gonna cut it, and the same stuff applies to the seats. Do not interfere with it, at any cost. You don't really have any faulty modules or the faulty updates, which is really cool. Execution of measurement plan has been completed. It is necessary to check for concluding task. Okay. So at this menu, we basically got through the process, the initial process, and now we need to execute the plan, which is gonna go through planning the action, software action, post-processing, and service function. Execution of the measurement plan has been completed. It is necessary to check for concluding task, okay. And delete tech in stop, okay. Oh, so those are the tasks. Execute this service right now, and it prompted me to work through these problems. So adaptation of the LED, left, good. Right is now adapting. Okay, service function has finished. it did not work. And the last procedure is deleting the faulty memory. And I think that's the end of update.